Hello, I'm Steve Shaw, National Coordinator of Football Officials and Secretary of Rules Editor for the NCAA. And today we're continuing our series of media videos for the 2021 season, and we're going to be focused on game action from the weekend of November 20th. Now, before we get into our plays, a couple quick updates. Our game time is still averaging 3 hours and 18 minutes, and so that's about 3 minutes below last year, and that's good. But about 20.4% of our games extend beyond 3.5 hours. Now, a lot of that is based on style of play, but that's something our rules committee will continue to look at as we go into the off season. Now, a good news picture on targeting. Our targeting fouls continue to trend down, and that's good for the game. And that's really a compliment to our coaches teaching the proper technique, our players changing their behavior, and the rule working together all in tandem to make our game safer. And so we've had 163 targeting fouls enforced this year in FBS, with another 123 overturned. So we're averaging 0.21 targeting fouls per game, and that's approaching 1 in every 5 games where we have a targeting foul. So that is really good for the game, and I hope we can continue this trend. So with that, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and let's get right on into our plays. Our first play this week, the quarterback takes the snap. He's immediately under heavy duress, but he's going to escape the pocket, and he turns it upfield for a big gain. Right before he runs out of bounds, we see a big block by one of his receivers coming back to help out, and the crew gets a marker down for this action. Now, the crew's going to come together to talk it through, and we get a quick announcement.
There is no foul for blindside block.
And as we go back and look at this block, it's definitely a block from the blind side, but the player makes the block with his hands extended, so it's not an illegal blindside block. We allow the player to deliver a block from the blind side with his hands extended. They can screen or they can absorb, but they cannot attack with forcible contact. And finally, this is not a block in the back, but it's a side block. The hands are really into the shoulder, not into the back. So this is a good job, good effective block, but both players get to play the next play. Play 2, the quarterback's going to fake a handoff, and he's going to hand to the flanker coming around. And as the flanker turns upfield near the boundary, he's hit, he's going to fumble, and there's a big scramble for the ball. Now, we see in the melee, the side judge comes out and he goes to the referee, and we're going to get an announcement by the referee.
The ruling on the field is that the ball was recovered by an out-of-bounds player on the defense. Therefore, the ball went back to the offense. The previous play is under further review.
Now, replay is going to come in and take a look at this. And the first aspect that they need to look at is this truly a fumble? And we're going to see that the ball is loose, and there's no question it's out. So the fumble is there. Now we look at the recovery, and we're going to see as the ball squirts out again, number 2 is going to recover it with the ball clearly in bounds. But as we go back and look at number 2, his feet are out of bounds, and then he's going to dive toward the ball, and he touches the ball before reestablishing himself in bounds. He would need to get a body part down back in bounds to reestablish himself. But as he dives, he first touches the ball before reestablishing in bounds. So the ball is considered out of bounds. And then if the ball's out of bounds, at that point, it's simply a fumble out of bounds by the offense. So the offense retains the ball. Interesting play. Play 3, we get a long throw downfield. And as the receiver goes up to attempt to make the catch, we see the field judge with his flag out, and he's throwing it well back upfield. Now, if we go back and take a look at this play using the All-22 camera, we see that the outside receiver to the bottom of the formation, and that's the key of the field judge, our deep wing, this receiver immediately releases back to the inside, which keeps the field judge on high alert. And then we're going to see this receiver go straight at a defensive back that's covering the inside receiver, and he's going to block him, and this frees up this inside receiver. So this is a good job, a good call for offensive pass interference, as the receivers are prohibited from blocking downfield on a pass play where the pass crosses the neutral zone. And the rule actually says that it's the responsibility of the offensive player to avoid this contact. So no question here, this is an excellent call for offensive pass interference. Play 4, we have a punting situation, and the kicker's going to get the punt off. It's a big kick, and the receiver's going to make a fair catch back at his own 23. That's a 49-yard punt with no return. But we see the back judge throw his flag well back upfield. Now, as we look at this from the end zone, we're going to see a number 3 lined up on the left side of the defensive formation. And then as the play develops, we see another number 3 well back downfield. Now, by rule, no 2 players of the same team shall participate in the same down wearing identical numbers. And if they do, it's an equipment violation. And we're going to see the referee give a preliminary signal here, but many folks don't recognize this signal. And it's a 5-yard penalty, and it must be enforced from the previous spot. And since the kickers had a 49-yard punt here with no return, they declined the penalty. Now remember, when the kickers commit a foul other than kick-catch interference on a punt, it can be tacked on to the end of the play. But a foul by the receiver does not carry that same option to tack it on. Play 5 is a potential targeting play, and we're going to see that the quarterback sprints out to the right. He's going to get pressure that turns him back in, and there's a hard hit by number 8 of the defense. Now, it's truly a hard hit to the quarterback, but as we look at the replays, the quarterback is not considered a defenseless player here. He is still a runner. So the only type targeting we could possibly have against a player that's not defenseless is a crown of the helmet hit. And there's no question that number 8's crown is definitely not involved. He actually leads with his shoulder. So there's no targeting foul here, and this is a legal hit. Now, one final note, you're going to see that the referee checks in on the quarterback here just to make sure that he doesn't show any signs or symptoms of a concussion. That's good work by the referee. Our last play this week is 2nd and goal. The quarterback's going to take a direct snap, and it's a design run play all the way. And he ducks just inside the pylon for a touchdown, and he goes all the way to the wall. His momentum carries him there. Now he's going to linger there a bit, and then he goes back to the wall and signs an autograph for a fan on the fan's hat using the fan's Sharpie, I think. But the rule states that it's an unsportsmanlike conduct foul to go to the stands and interact with spectators. And we allow a lot of latitude here, but this is beyond the allowable limit, and the player is penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct. Now, this action may seem innocent enough, but where would this lead us? So the player is properly penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct, a correct call. Well, that's it for our plays this week, and we appreciate your time invested in this video. And as we turn our attention to our final regular season weekend, there are many rivalry games and games of note, so our officials will have to be at their absolute best. But we look forward to a great weekend. And I hope you get to spend some time with your family and friends over this Thanksgiving holiday. That is so important. Stay safe and healthy, and best of luck to all.